because early in the season we were just so inconsistent, and if teams were to do that, we would normally lose those games. But
my homeboy Andy said they haven't given the ball to Sophie Cunningham since mid-third quarter. She is 4-5 from 3. The rest of the team is 0-17.
It's like they didn't want Sophie Cunningham to touch the ball at all in the second half. And she finished with 17 points.
Fans are going absolutely crazy after Sophie Cunningham's post-game interview following the Fever's huge win. But it's not for the reasons you think. While everyone's talking about what she said to the media, the real story is what her teammates did to her during the game that has the entire WNBA community in an uproar.
Sophie Cunningham, she was ready to ball out tonight. Let's take a look right here. Some three-pointers. She was the only one raining down the threes right there. Boom.
Sophie was shooting a scorching 80% from 3, but her own teammates literally refused to pass her the ball. And what she said after this disrespectful snub will shock you.
Okay, it just does not make sense to keep giving somebody who is cold the ball, especially in clutch moments. What are we doing?
But first, let me break down exactly what went wrong in Seattle, because this story gets worse with every detail. The Indiana Fever just beat the Seattle Storm 78-74, extending their winning streak to 5 games.
That's a PNW win! W's in the chat.
W's in the chat.
Oh my gosh. That one just aged me, but we're getting better. Shoot, good win. Win's a win.
On paper, this looks like another solid victory in their climb toward playoff contention. But if you actually watched this game, you witnessed one of the most frustrating displays of basketball selfishness in recent memory.
Look, we're winning ugly. We're winning ugly.
Here's the shocking stat line that tells the whole story. Sophie Cunningham went 4 of 5 from three-point range. That's 80% from beyond the arc. Meanwhile, the rest of the Indiana Fever combined to shoot 0 for 17 from 3. 0 for 17. Let that sink in for a moment. One player shoots 80% from 3, while her teammates shoot a collective 0% from the same distance. And somehow, the player making every shot wasn't getting the ball. Here's where this story turns from frustrating to absolutely infuriating. According to multiple people who were tracking the game closely, the Fever stopped passing Sophie the ball in the third quarter. She's shooting 80% from three-point range, and her teammates decided to freeze her out.
What are we doing? You had a Sophie Cunningham who was on fire, 17 points, right? 5 rebounds, 2 assists, shot 5 of 6 from the floor and 4 or 5 from the 3. Didn't touch the ball not one more time in that.
This wasn't a coaching decision. This wasn't part of some strategic adjustment. This was players making selfish choices that nearly cost their team a winnable game. When someone is that hot from three-point range, Basketball 101 says you run every play through them until they start missing. You don't care about egos. You don't care about getting your own shots. You ride the hot hand until it cools down. But apparently nobody told Sophie's teammates about this basic basketball principle. The most frustrating part of this whole situation? While Sophie was getting ignored despite her perfect shooting, Kelsey Mitchell was putting up one of the worst performances you'll see from a professional basketball player.
Kelsey Mitchell was absolutely horrid in this game. Absolutely terrible.
Mitchell went 3 of 16 from the field and 0 of 8 from three-point range. 0 for 8 from 3. She played 29 minutes and missed every single three-point attempt, while Sophie sat in the corner at 4 of 5, probably wondering if her teammates could even see her.
This was a game that I feel like Kelsey Mitchell should have been pulled out. She should have been pulled out for her shooting slump, her turnovers. She was just doing too much.
This isn't just bad shooting. This is basketball malpractice. When you're going 0 for 8 from 3 and there's someone on your team shooting 80% from the same spots, you stop shooting and start passing. It's that simple. But this disaster wasn't just about player decisions. The coaching staff completely failed Sophie Cunningham in this game. How do you watch someone shoot 80% from 3 and not design plays specifically to get them open looks? How do you let a player go 0 for 8 from 3 while keeping them on the floor for 29 minutes? Stephanie White's game management in this situation was absolutely baffling.
To me, if they would have lost this game, it would have been because of Stephanie White not pulling Kelsey Mitchell out of this game.
When you have a player this hot from three-point range, you don't just hope the ball finds them naturally. You make it clear to everyone on the court that getting Sophie open shots is the top priority. Instead, White watched Mitchell brick shot after shot while Sophie's hot streak got wasted on the bench and in the corner.
Kelsey Mitchell. So for all the people saying that Kelsey is better than Caitlin, because there was a growing debate of people online. I don't know what the hell wrong with people, but they've been on this damn debate.
Now, here's where the story gets even more interesting. After enduring this complete disrespect from her teammates, Sophie stepped up to the post-game microphone. And while fans are going crazy about what she said, you have to understand the context of what just happened on the court to really appreciate her comments.
Yeah, Seattle's a great team, great team, and it's hard to play here. And so we knew that. We knew that they just came off kind of a bad loss against LA. And so they were hungry for a win. But for us, it's not about other teams. It's about our standard. It's about stacking the days. And I think that where our mental's at as a team and as individuals.
The interview that's got everyone talking wasn't just random praise or typical athlete speak. It was Sophie's way of addressing the elephant in the room without directly calling out her teammates. And when you understand what she just went through in that game, her words hit completely different. Meanwhile, Kelsey Mitchell played 5 more minutes than Sophie and took 3 more three-point attempts than Sophie, missing every single one. The math here isn't complicated. The player making shots should get more attempts than the player missing shots.
But they've been on this damn debate. Kelsey Mitchell went 0-8 from 3, 2 of 15 from the field, and played 29 minutes. My goodness.
The Fever won this game 78-74, but it should have been a blowout. They let Seattle go on an 11-0 run in the final 5 minutes because they were taking terrible shots early in the shot clock instead of working for quality looks.
It's because they let Kelsey Mitchell just slip in and run damn near wide ass open to the basket. I mean, wide open.
If you go back and watch the game footage, you can actually see the moment when Sophie realizes what's happening. There are multiple possessions in the third quarter where she's wide open in the corner, calling for the ball, and her teammates ignore her to take contested shots. The most damning sequence happens with about 6 minutes left in the third quarter. Sophie comes off a screen, gets a clean look from 3, and instead of getting the pass, she watches Mitchell dribble into a contested pull-up 3 that clanks off the rim. You can see the frustration on Sophie's face. This is a veteran player who knows what it takes to win games, and she's watching her teammates make decisions that could cost them victories. This situation reveals a serious problem with team chemistry in Indiana. Basketball is built on trust. Players need to trust their teammates to make the right decisions, and everyone needs to trust that individual success comes through team success. Right now, it seems like that trust is completely broken. Sophie can't trust her teammates to get her the ball when she's hot. Her teammates apparently don't trust that giving up shots will lead to better results, and the coaching staff doesn't seem to trust anyone enough to make hard decisions about shot distribution. Here's what makes this situation even more concerning for the Fever's playoff hopes. This kind of selfish basketball doesn't work in high-pressure situations. You can get away with poor shot selection against weaker teams, but playoff basketball punishes every bad decision. Sophie Cunningham came to Indiana as a veteran presence who was supposed to help this young team learn how to win. But instead of embracing her experience and basketball IQ, some players seem more concerned with their own statistics than team success. Social media exploded during and after this game, but not because of the victory. Fever fans were posting screenshots of the shooting percentages, asking why the player making shots wasn't getting more touches. The fans could see what was happening in real time. They were watching Sophie drain 3 after 3, then watching her teammates ignore her for the rest of the game. The disconnect between what fans wanted to see and what players were doing on the court was obvious to everyone watching. If the Fever want to make any real noise in the playoffs, they need to address these chemistry issues immediately. You can't have a player shooting 80% from 3 getting fewer attempts than someone shooting 0% from the same distance. That's not winning basketball. That's ego basketball. Sophie's frustration in this game was completely justified. She did everything right. She got open, she made her shots, she played within the system. but her teammates let their own agendas get in the way of smart basketball decisions. Stephanie White has a serious decision to make moving forward.
Shout out to Sophie, though. Sophie showed up and showed out. Sophie made it when she had to. And Stephanie White not pulling Kelsey Mitchell out of this game is definitely going to be the talk of the town.
Does she let players continue making selfish decisions, or does she establish clear rules about shot distribution and ball movement? Because right now, it seems like individual egos are more important than team success. The best coaches in basketball have one simple rule: feed the hot hand. It doesn't matter who's making shots. Whoever has the hot hand gets priority touches. White needs to make this non-negotiable if she wants this team to reach its potential. Here's the uncomfortable truth about this Fever winning streak. They're winning games despite making terrible decisions, not because of smart basketball. Eventually, that catches up to you. Eventually, you run into a team that makes you pay for every wasted possession. Sophie Cunningham's performance in Seattle should have been a masterclass in how to take over a game from three-point range. Instead, it became a case study in how individual selfishness can derail team chemistry. The solution to this problem is actually pretty straightforward, but it requires everyone to check their egos at the door. When someone is shooting 80% from three, they get the ball. When someone is shooting 0% from three, they stop shooting threes. It's not personal, it's basketball. Sophie proved in Seattle that she can be a game changer when utilized correctly. The question is whether her teammates and coaches are willing to make the necessary adjustments to maximize her impact. Teams that win championships don't let their best shooters watch from the sidelines while their worst shooters take all the attempts. The Fever's 5-game winning streak is impressive, but it's masking some fundamental problems that could derail their playoff run. If they can't figure out how to get their best players the ball in optimal situations, they're going to struggle against teams with better chemistry and smarter decision-making. What happened to Sophie Cunningham in Seattle wasn't just a bad game or poor shot distribution. It was a complete breakdown of basketball fundamentals and team chemistry. When a player is shooting 80% from three and gets frozen out by her teammates, that's not an accident. That's a choice. The Fever are winning games right now, but they're also one terrible shooting performance away from exposing all their chemistry problems. Sophie's snub in Seattle was a preview of what happens when individual egos get in the way of team success. The fans can see it, the media can see it. The question is whether the players and coaches are willing to acknowledge the problem and fix it before it costs them when games really matter. Because right now, Sophie Cunningham is learning that sometimes the biggest obstacles to team success aren't the opponents across the court. They're the teammates standing right next to you. Do you think Sophie Cunningham was completely disrespected by her teammates in this game? Or is this just normal basketball? Let us know in the comments what you think about players going 0-8 from three while ignoring someone shooting 80%.